The Zodiac case took place in Northern California, USA in the late 1960s, a period when American society was experiencing profound upheaval. From the anti-war movement and civil rights movement to the explosion of pop culture, the US was filled with a sense of turmoil and tension. In that context, the appearance of a mysterious killer who continually committed crimes and then disappeared into the shadows left the public bewildered and fearful. Zodiac's attacks did not occur in a single specific area, but in various Northern California cities like Berryessa, Vallejo, Napa, and San Francisco, creating an atmosphere of anxiety that lingered for an extended time. The haunting presence of a free-roaming killer crept into every corner of daily life for the people there. Zodiac was not just a typical serial killer. He quickly became a symbol of brutality and mystery in American criminal history. Even though the case has remained unsolved for decades, the mysteries surrounding him continue to capture the attention of the media, the public, and professional investigators alike. Zodiac was more than just a murder case. He became an inspiration for countless movies, documentaries, and books. Many studies in psychology and criminology have been devoted to him, making Zodiac a symbol of insecurity and mystery, a testament to the worst horrors lurking behind the seemingly safe exterior of modern society. What made Zodiac particularly terrifying and haunting was not only the crimes he committed, but the complex psychological game he intentionally created to challenge both the police and the public. After each crime, Zodiac sent letters filled with taunting, even mocking words, along with cryptic ciphers to local newspapers. In these letters, he claimed responsibility for the murders and warned he would continue his actions. The words in these letters drew both investigators and the public into the gruesome game Zodiac had crafted, as if the killer were toying with the entire justice system. The ciphers he sent were not only intellectual challenges but also messages from a depraved killer who wanted to maintain psychological control over those pursuing him. Zodiac killed at least 5 people and injured 2 others. His confirmed victims were mostly young couples, with attacks occurring in desolate places such as parking lots or secluded suburban roads. Although Zodiac claimed to have killed over 37 people, only 7 victims have been definitively identified as his. The true number of victims may far exceed this, but with the evidence available, the police could not verify this figure as accurate. Zodiac's first victims were a young couple, Betty Lou Jensen, a 16-year-old high school student, and David Arthur Faraday, 17 years old. On the night of December 20th, 1968, they drove to a secluded area on Lake Herman Road in the outskirts of Vallejo, Northern California, where couples often went for privacy. However, that night, the quiet surroundings would turn into the scene of a horrific murder. While they were sitting in their car, an unknown man suddenly appeared. He parked his vehicle nearby and approached the young couple's car. For reasons unknown, the assailant drew a gun and fired multiple shots at them. Investigators believe he ordered the victims to exit their vehicle before committing the crime. David Faraday was shot in the head at close range, leaving him with no chance of survival. Betty Lou Jensen attempted to escape but only managed to run a few feet before being shot 5 times in the back, dying on the spot. There were no eyewitnesses to the incident, leaving behind only bullet holes and haunting traces of the killer. The case closed with the deaths of both victims, leaving a sense of horror in the community and marking the beginning of a series of horrific crimes committed by Zodiac in the months to come. 6 months later, on the night of July 4th, 1969, Darlene Ferrin, 22, and Michael Mageau, 19, became Zodiac's next victims. On Independence Day, Ferrin and Mageau drove to Blue Rock Springs Park, just a few kilometers from where the first murder had occurred. Although Ferrin was married, she and Mageau were meeting to share some private time together. While they were sitting in the car, another vehicle suddenly pulled up nearby. The stranger turned on his headlights, shining a bright light into their car, then suddenly turned off the lights and drove away. But not long after he returned, this time parking even closer. Without saying a word, he shone a flashlight into the car, causing the two to think it was a police officer coming to check on them. As Majot began to look for his papers to prepare to present them, the man abruptly pulled out a gun and opened fire. Ferrin fell instantly, while Majot was severely wounded but miraculously survived. Not stopping there, just minutes after committing the crime, the murderer called the Vallejo police from a payphone. He casually confessed to the crime, stating, "I want to report a double murder. I also killed those kids last year." Police confirmed that this was the voice of the assailant. Based on Majot's account, authorities had the first descriptions of the killer's appearance. The incident concluded with Ferrin dying at the scene, while Majot survived and provided crucial information to the police, helping them gather more clues about Zodiac. The next attack occurred on September 27, 1969, when Cecilia Shepard, 22, and Brian Hartnell, 20, were enjoying a picnic by Lake Berryessa, near Napa. On a calm afternoon, Shepard and Hartnell had no idea they were about to face a killer. A mysterious man wearing a mask approached them. He was dressed in a black hood and wearing an apron emblazoned with Zodiac's distinctive symbol. He claimed to be an escaped convict and demanded that Hartnell hand over the car keys and cash. Afterward, he ordered Shepard to tie Hartnell's hands, then proceeded to tie up both victims. Instead of leaving after robbing them, the assailant suddenly began stabbing both individuals. Hartnell was stabbed 6 times, while Shepard was stabbed 10 times. After committing the crime, Zodiac calmly walked away, leaving behind a message and his signature symbol on Hartnell's car. He even called the police to confess his crime, asserting that he was the killer of previous attacks. Although Hartnell survived with serious injuries, Shepard died a few days later in the hospital. Hartnell's testimony helped the police gain more insight into Zodiac's cold and brutal character. The final confirmed murder committed by Zodiac took place on the night of October 11, 1969, with the victim being Paul Stine, a 29-year-old taxi driver. Stine picked up Zodiac in the Presidio Heights area of San Francisco and drove him as requested. When the car stopped, Zodiac suddenly pulled out a gun and shot Stine dead inside the cab. After killing him, Zodiac cut off a piece of Stine's clothing and sent the bloody fabric to the newspapers as a declaration that he was the perpetrator. This brazen act clearly displayed Zodiac's provocative personality and desire for attention. The case became even more mysterious when nearby witnesses saw and provided detailed descriptions of the assailant, helping police create a composite sketch of the killer. Despite police efforts to track him down, they were unable to apprehend Zodiac. This was the last confirmed murder he committed, but it was not the last time Zodiac made headlines through letters sent to newspapers, filled with ciphers, challenges, and threats. Each of Zodiac's attacks reveals an intelligent, brutal, and cold-blooded killer. Not only did he commit murder, but he also toyed with the psychology of both the police and the public through letters, ciphers, and taunts. These actions transformed Zodiac into one of the most mysterious killers in American history, surrounded by enigmas and challenges that remain unanswered to this day. On November 8th, Zodiac sent a card containing another cipher with 340 characters. This cipher, later named Z340, remained unsolved for over 51 years. On December 5, 2020, it was decoded by a team of international private citizens, including American software engineer David Orenchak, Australian mathematician Sam Blake, and Belgian programmer Jarl van Eyck. Used a program created by Van Eyck called AsDecrypt, which ran 650,000 possible solutions for the cipher until it produced the best possible decryption key. In the decoded message, Zodiac denied being Sam, who who had spoken on AM San Francisco, explaining that he was not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise sooner. The research team sent their findings to the FBI, which confirmed the discovery and stated that the decoded message did not provide any additional clues about Zodiac's identity. On November 9th, Zodiac sent a 7-page letter stating that 2 police officers had stopped and actually spoken with him 3 minutes after he shot Stine. The letter also said he would blow up a school bus and claimed that the police would never catch him because I am too smart for them. Excerpts from the letter were published in the Chronicle on November 12th, including Zodiac's declaration. On the same day, Fook wrote a memo explaining what happened the night Stine was killed. On December 20th, exactly 1 year after the Lake Herman Road murder, Zodiac sent a letter to Belly that included another piece of Stine's shirt. Zodiac said he wanted Belly's help. Zodiac continued to communicate with authorities throughout the remainder of 1970 through letters and greeting cards sent to the press. In a letter postmarked April 20th, he wrote, "My name is," followed by a cipher of 13 characters, later named Z13, which remains unsolved to this day. On a greeting card sent to the Chronicle with a postmark dated April 28, 1970, Zodiac wrote, "I hope you have fun when I have my blast," followed by the symbol. On the back of the card, Zodiac threatened to use a bomb on a school bus unless the newspaper published all the details he had written. He also wanted to start seeing people wear some nice Zodiac buttons. On October 27, 1970, Avery received a Halloween card signed with a Z and the symbol. The handwritten content inside the card read, "Peekaboo, you're going to die." The threat was taken seriously and became the subject of a front-page story in the Chronicle. The postmark showed that the letter had been sent from a mailbox in San Francisco that afternoon. The phrase 14 in the letter was understood as possibly referring to a 14th victim. Avery began carrying a handgun but declined police protection. Shortly after receiving the letter, he got an anonymous letter warning him about the similarities between Zodiac's activities and the unsolved Bates murder in Riverside. In 2007, The Guardian wrote that over 2,500 people had been proposed as potential Zodiac suspects, and at least half a dozen names were considered credible. The SFPD investigated approximately 2,500 suspects in 2009. Richard Grinnell, who runs the Zodiac Cipher's website, stated in 2022 that perhaps 50 or 100 suspects are named each year. The only man ever publicly named as a suspect by the police was Arthur Lee Allen, a former elementary school teacher and convicted sex offender who died of a heart attack in 1992. He denied being the perpetrator. In Zodiac and Zodiac Unmasked, Robert Graysmith included Allen in the list of possible suspects based on circumstantial evidence. Allen had been interrogated by police from the early days of the Zodiac investigation and was the subject of several search warrants over a 20-year period. In 2007, Graysmith noted that some detectives described Allen as the most likely suspect. In 2010, Dave Toschi stated that all evidence against Allen ultimately proved to be negative. The Zodiac case not only left echoes of terror, but also sparked a protracted and complex investigation. Immediately after the attacks, the police swiftly launched a robust investigative campaign. They gathered information from eyewitnesses, conducting numerous interviews to capture crucial details about the perpetrator. Each witness provided distinct descriptions of the assailant, including height, hairstyle, skin color, and clothing, which led to the creation of composite sketches. These images not only gave law enforcement a clearer understanding of the murderer's appearance, but were also disseminated through media channels to draw public attention. Additionally, police collected various physical evidence from the crime scenes, such as shell casings and blood samples, all of which were meticulously analyzed. Despite the substantial efforts to gather and analyze data, these endeavors ultimately failed to yield results. The perpetrator, known as the Zodiac, remained elusive, leaving many in the community feeling frustrated and anxious. The mystery surrounding the cases generated a sense of helplessness among investigators and a pervasive anxiety among the public, knowing that a serial killer was still at large. The Zodiac case is not just a series of crimes, it is a captivating cultural phenomenon that perfectly blends psychological elements, detective work, and unresolved mysteries. The allure of this case lies in how the killer cleverly engaged in a psychological game with both the community and authorities, creating a thrilling narrative that has lasted for decades. The letters and ciphers sent by Zodiac to the media were not just provocations to the police, they also contributed to turning the case into a nationwide phenomenon, capturing the attention of crime enthusiasts, criminal researchers, and thrill-seekers alike. In the context of advancing technology, the possibility of clarifying the mysteries surrounding the Zodiac case has become more feasible than ever. Modern technologies such as DNA analysis and cipher decryption software are opening new prospects for identifying the killer. Many researchers and investigators are striving to collaborate, combining forensic science with new analytical methods to harness the potential of technology in uncovering clues and decrypting lingering mysteries. Recent achievements in the field of criminal investigation may help reveal truths that have been hidden for so long, bringing hope to the victims and their families. The enduring legacy of the Zodiac case is not only found in the haunting memories it has left on the minds of those who lived in the area where the killer operated. This case has profoundly influenced how law enforcement investigates crimes and studies criminal behavior. The lessons learned from the case have prompted extensive research into criminal behavior, the handling of complex cases, and the role of media in shaping public perceptions of crime. Investigators and scholars have utilized the Zodiac case as a quintessential example to discuss the necessity of improving investigative techniques and the relationship between criminal behavior and various social and psychological factors. In summary, the Zodiac case is not merely a historical crime event. It is a complex and haunting phenomenon that relates to profound issues of human psychology and society's response to evil. The potential to decode the case in the future, along with its impact on the field of criminal investigation, will ensure that the legacy of the Zodiac Killer persists and continues to attract attention for generations to come. The story of Zodiac serves as a reminder of the darker aspects of humanity and the relentless pursuit of truth amidst unresolved enigmas.